Okay, everybody, welcome back to more
I
Final
hear
Fantasy
there's trouble.
16.
Ah, Clive! Oh,
We
I've
met
missed that
him
scowl.
again.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
While the two nations beat their shields, the rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the Mother Crystals. Four Mother Crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rosfield. And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. Along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Equip. Auto counter is now open. The following highway facilities are now available. Alien Report, Patron the Hunt Port. Completing set quests available through Alien Report or defeating Notary's Mark 1 on the Hunt Port will earn Cliff renown, inspiring nameless benefactor from across the Twin to donate money or item to Cliff Couch. Okay. There's a lot of bounty that I can do in this game.
What are we waiting for indeed?
Okay, let's go to How Cry Cliff. South Rosaria.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
What's going on?
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
Together.
To the end.
Come on.
Let's go, buddy. Bloodlines.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Yep. See ya. Just wanted to get out. Don't want any trouble. Just pass by.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you!
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's
Take
son?
this what you have.
I ain't got much, but what's mine is
Can you
yours.
update
For a price.
what I use this one? Increase limit break generation 1 by 6%. So expensive though. Don't think I need that. I have a lot of meteorite though. This one is add new song. I don't need that. Elixir string tonic. What is
There you are. You won't be
this
disappointed.
It's quite expensive though.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There've been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire.
We're going hunting for help,
There was a time my husband might have stood up to those men. But back then, he wouldn't have needed to.
Hey, Targal, you have new friend here. What up? You have new doggy friend. Say hello for your new friend. There. Here. Speak to this guy.
You seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. At least I think there was a Black Shield.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think?
If only we were.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out. Greetings, friend.
Greetings.
We are travelers.
I know that.
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing.
What the hell?
I speak for the people of this village. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, this village will not become another East Pole.
Then we shall be on our way.
Sorry.
These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, we still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, but other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
Let's go then. We go to the next village. So I go there. It's down there. Something up there. Nope. Can't go there. Run.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
What the hell? Fallen hunter.
Ever since the auditory, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
What do you think is waking them? The mother crystals collapse?
I have an idea. You're going to like it.
Look at this. Gotta check my setting here. Is everything alright? below to increase my frame rate ya. Don't have motion blur. Increase my frame rate ya. There's a way here. What is this?
More of my mother's men.
Take no prisoners!
To die. There's so many enemies here. Check my graphic again. This is correct one. Yep, I think that's good.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
So much blood. Wow, what's going on here?
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true Over here! This one.
Easy.
Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordeal.
Guardian of the Flame.
Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
Let's go. What's going on here?
Find something, boy.
Yeah.
Death.
Found her.
Oh, damn.
This was my mother's doing.
Need to pay for that.
But why? Why would anyone?
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
Atlas village. Damn, look at that. Everybody is hanging. So nasty. Brutal annihilation. Literally no one here. Yeah, I think basically this everyone is very basic now. Get something. Open coin. What is that? No. Getting out of this because of my mother. You have crazy idea. Get out of this people. Look at that. Nasty.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
Make for this so in honor of the 250th anniversary of founding of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria.
They tell us there's a curfew, but then refuse us passage back to our homes.
Passage to the provincial capital is restricted to Imperial Army personnel.
The gates are closed! Be gone!
Oh, where am I to go?
How am I to sell my...
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
Hello, buddy. Can I wrap the food for you? A lot of walking here. We are fire side. Oh,
This one.
oh, another village over there.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. We should start with the main gate and see where that gets us. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Another.
Let us pass! My children are starving!
Have mercy!
Voice-ridden dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here.
Oh, they're enough for everything.
Find the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all!
I said, where were you, filth?
Back to your
I'll cut you down where you stand.
Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in.
Oh, why? I need to do that. Just kill them all. Very good option.
I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus.
This one?
We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
Luck like bird.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Something with that.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
First. Yo, you need to move from there. You need to deal with this enemy. Just want to get what I'm looking for and leave. The Lazarus
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Everybody is empty. I can't go there. Ghost Village.
Not abandoned then.
Who is this?
Oi! Visitors!
Who is the boy? What the hell? Where this guy?
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Okay. You want to fight? If you what you got.
Or not. Nice try.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died.
Really? How are you?
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
I not pretty recognize this guy.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord. But in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we.
Make ready.
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
With pleasure.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our
Oh, I
wits.
think this is my
Then let's
new
hope Sir
best
Wade
gun.
has a good quartermaster.
Telling me that's the Archduke's
See what you got.
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage.
Not cute. Oh, I got new front blends. Let's buy this one.
Will that be all?
Nice. Increase limit break generation amount by 30%. Don't need that. So expensive.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy.
It's killing and killing.
You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Hill have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
I'll see you in.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
So we shall. You drunk the man's Clive will be often joined by the various companions who are keen to lend their assistance. However, to bring on clear destination, they might choose to remain behind the highway. Okay then. Going on. Confront the Black Shield main house.
We'll keep them from the...
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village, we tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention.
Why am I help with this?
It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
It's pretty long.
Look at me sideways.
Come along, Mel.
The bastards are lucky I
There they are.
Yeah.
On your command, my lord.
You don't need to do that. I can do it by myself.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame!
Don't say that.
For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Oh, more enemy.
To fight their battles for them.
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Get him!
That's it. Oh, this is the
A
big
noble
guy.
stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
You again?
This one!
So wait.
Okay.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You mean finish him?
Come. The hell? Nice. Oh, it's a lot of thing, crafting material.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
Sounds like a plan.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud! My, Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it. As we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die. And her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
Quest complete.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned, and had I known of this tunnel back then...
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have...
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our move, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it is why he remains ever vigilant.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will...
Skill up 10. Burn blade.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need...
I know. Go on now, my lord.
What a fancy.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Alright, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Oh, you remember me now.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
Eating time.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, Who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that Lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Oh, it's pretty far. Or is it not? Oh, go back to the